Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of Eddie's Customs and Restorations. So today we're going to be going over how to replace spark plugs and wires on a 2004 Ford Ranger with a 3.0. So if you're watching this video because you took all the spark plug wires off and you don't know how they go back on, this is how they go, okay? So when you start off from your coil pack, it goes on a certain way. So it starts off at the coil pack and goes to the same number on the engine. And what I mean by number is each cylinder has a number, okay? And on a Ford, it starts off on this side. So at the very first spark plug on the right side, that's spark plug number 1, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6 cylinder on this one. And if it was an 8, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and on the coil, you start off like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5. Okay, so now that you have those numbers, let's just say you were going to spark plug number 1 on the right side. This being number 1, you're gonna run this spark plug wire from the coil pack right here at number 1 and run it down to the number 1 cylinder. Same thing goes for all the others. You know, this one being 2, it's going to go to cylinder number 2. So this side right here on the coil pack all goes to this side of the motor, and these 3 go around the back and go to the other side of the engine. Before you get started on your repair, you want to make sure you gap your spark plugs. When you purchase a new set of spark plugs and they are not pre-gapped, usually you'll have a number written on your box. That is, if the person from the auto parts store did not forget to put it on there. If they did, and you're about to start checking to see if they are correctly gapped, and you so happen to have a couple of different spark plugs with different gaps, then you're going to want to go ahead and call your auto parts store, the one that sold you the spark plugs, and ask for the gap number. Okay. In this case, this one is fairly close to being correct, but just in case it wasn't, I'm gonna close this one up a little bit so that you can see how one that is not properly gapped looks, and how you actually close it up in case it's open too far out, and how to bring it in. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring this one in, but after showing you this, okay, this one, it's where it needs to be at 0.044, right? That's what it's supposed to be at, so it's correct. But if it wasn't, you want to do this. Okay, if it was too far open, you want to knock it in like that. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and measure it again. Okay, it went in just 1. Okay, see if I can get that to focus. Okay, so there it's already incorrect, right? It's at 0.43. Okay, that's not what you want. So you would then slide it over, or in some cases you may have to kind of do that and pry it up just a hair, not too far. You don't want to damage the spark plug. Okay, typically you can just rotate it back and forth like this, or side to side, and get it to the desired reading that you want. Okay, so what you'll be needing to remove your spark plugs is you're going to be needing a 5/8 socket, deep socket, and it has to be a spark plug 5/8. If you do not have a spark plug 5/8, the only difference is that this 5/8 has like a little black sleeve in there. I'm not even sure you can get that on camera, but it's like a little rubber black sleeve that's up in there. Okay, what that is for is so that when you're removing the spark plug, as you remove it, the spark plug doesn't just fall straight out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what happens when you use a regular 5/8 socket, which I have right here. Same size and everything, except that this one doesn't have anything in there. I don't know if that's coming out on camera or not. Okay, so that's the only difference. The fact that this one on this side has that black rubber inside that holds the spark plug as you're removing it and installing it. It's just gonna make it easier. You don't have to have it, but it just makes it easier. Okay, so this one being the spark plug socket, this one being the regular socket. If you start off with the regular socket and you know you're there, you remove it out, the moment you're trying to get it out of the truck, that's gonna happen and you're gonna drop the spark plug. And you may not think that's a big deal because it's an old spark plug, but okay, fine, this is a new spark plug now, let's just say, and you're going in trying to put the new spark plug in and you just got done gapping it and everything, and then it goes, you know, like that. You just screwed up your gap. So that's why it helps to have a spark plug socket, because that one holds it in place real good. And all it is that's holding it in place is this rubber that's inside of the socket. I've seen a couple of people actually put in a piece of hose inside of a socket, and you can actually turn a regular 5/8 into one of these by just putting a piece of hose in there. It'll help keep that one in place, keep the spark plug in place. Okay, so we're on the left side of the truck right now where cylinders 4, 5, and 6 are. Over here at the back, if you follow the spark plug wires, there's a little plastic holder that holds them all together. I want to take that one off. And to take that one off, you can get a pick. Get a pick tool. And you're going to stick it in on this side, and you're going to pull up on that little leg. There's like a little leg. You're going to pull that one open. Like so. Now we're going to move on to removing one spark plug wire at a time so that you don't get confused on the process of removing the spark plug wires. They are all different lengths, so you want to remove one at a time so that you can go compare them to the new set of wires that you purchased and keep and wire it in as you go. Okay, so we're going to start off at cylinder number 4, and you want to, excuse the background noise, little hot rodder going by. You want to start wiggling it side to side first, break it loose, because a lot of the times they're very seized up with the spark plug itself, and you can rip it. Then, once you have wiggled it plenty, you can start pulling on it. And you want to pull directly out, not sideways. Okay, so we're going to fish this wire out. And you're going to come over to the coil pack. Okay. This wire over here is number 4, so you can go ahead and start pulling on it. Then side to side, like so. You know, just wiggle it side to side and then pull straight up, and it should pop off with no problem. Okay, on this one, it's very easy for you to actually pry up against these lines, so be very careful when you're doing that. See right here, I'm beginning to start to loosen them, and I'm already kind of pushing up against that AC line right here. So you want to be very careful not to pry up on it. So it helps a lot if you have one of these flexible ratchets. If you don't, I mean, you can still get away with it, but it just makes the situation a lot easier to have one. Because if not, if you look at the way it would be if it was straight, I'd be pretty much right up against this harness right here. So the fact that this one flexes just makes it that much easier. Okay, so when you're gonna install your new spark plugs, you can put some anti-seize on them if you were supplied with any. In this case we weren't, so we're not gonna put any on this one. But yeah, you can go ahead and put some anti-seize, and also when you reconnect the wire, you can put some grease, some dielectric grease on the little hole on the wire, and slide the wire on there. And always start your spark plug in by hand. The last thing you want to do is cross thread those threads inside of the head. When you're tightening up spark plugs, you don't want to use a really big ratchet, because you can tend to not be able to measure your strength because you have so much more leverage. So if you're using one of these, you actually want to hold it from the bottom so that you don't have that much leverage and you don't tighten it up so much. Usually on spark plugs, they go torque to like 18 foot-pounds usually. You know, it differs from vehicle to vehicle, but it's around that 18 to 22 foot-pounds, you know, nothing more than that. Okay, so you want to go ahead and lay out all your new spark plug wires for this next step. Okay, every time you remove a wire from the truck, you're going to want to come to your brand new wires and you're going to compare sizes. Okay, so this one looks like a fairly long wire, so we're going to go with the longest wire. Okay, we're going to start off at this side and we're going to compare the length. By the time you get to the end, this one's, you know, the closest one that you're going to have. That's the longest one. But just in case that it ends up being like over here, you still want to check that second to the longest wire, just to make sure that it is not the second to the longest wire. So you're going to compare it to this one as well, just in case. As you can see, this is the new one. This is longer. The original one is longer than this new one, so we're going to go with the longest one. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to run our new spark plug wire same way as the original, right? We're going to fish it all the way through the back. Following the same way, like I said, the original went through. And when you get it there, you're going to push on the back of it right there, and you're going to wait for a little pop, a little click. I don't know if you heard that on camera, but it just kind of slid on, and you can feel when it actually slides on. Okay, but it did. Okay, now we're going to move on to number 5. We're going to wiggle side to side as we did the other, and then you're going to pull on it. And if it doesn't come out on the first try, wiggle side to side again, trying to break it loose. And there you go. Okay. So now we come over to this side, to to the coil. Go ahead and reconnect or connect your new wire right there. Okay, now we're going to go on to number 5, which is this one. Now break it loose and then pull straight up on it, and then we're going to pull out our cable, spark plug wire. Okay, now we're at number 5. New spark plug in. Okay, now we're back here at our new set of wires. Once again, we're going to lay out the wire from number 5. And there you go. That's the wire we're looking for. Now we're going to throw this one to the no good pile. Now we're going to run spark plug wire once again, just like the other one, following the same trail as the original. Behind everything back there, you're basically going up against the firewall. Like that. Okay, and wait for that click. once we have all 3 in on this side, we're gonna go ahead and put this little holder back on. And that's it. Just make sure your wires are not touching the manifold to where they're going to burn up in the future, and that's it on this side. Now we move over to cylinder 1 on the right hand side. Same procedure. Now we come back, start comparing these. Looks like it's this one. So throw this one to the junk. Another thing to note, sometimes this socket's too far deep in there, so you want to pull it out just a hair because the threads won't want to engage down there. Okay guys, so there you have it. That's how you replace the spark plugs and spark plug wires on an 04 Ford Ranger. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see some more how-to and repair videos on our channel. Thank you for watching.